Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to Chapter 8, which introduces Takaful as the Sharia compliant alternative to conventional insurance. This chapter is philosophically different from everything we have covered so far. While the previous chapters examine what insurance products do, this chapter asks a more fundamental question. That is, how should insurance be structured so that it aligns with Islamic principles of justice, transparency, and mutual cooperation? This subtitle in this slide captures the three pillars of our discussion. Principles, which are the Sharia foundations that make takaful necessary. Mechanics, which explain how the tabarruk contract eliminates the forbidden elements found in conventional insurance. And operating models, which describe how takaful operators actually run the business through mudharabah and wakalah structures. By the end of this session, you should be able to explain why conventional insurance is considered impermissible under Sharia, articulate how takaful resolves each of those objections, and describe the operational differences between family takaful and general takaful. This slide establishes the theological architecture that gives takaful its legitimacy. Islam as a religion is divided into three main branches. The first is Aqidah, or faith and belief. Second is Sharia, that is laws, and Akhlaq, that is moral and ethics. These three branches together provide comprehensive guidance across all dimensions of life. Sharia itself can be divided into two domains. The first is ibadah, which deals with submission to God through religious rituals such as prayers, fasting, and the performance of Hajj. The second is muamalat, which covers daily human activities, including economics, politics, criminal law, state administration, and family law. This distinction is critical because takaful falls under muamalat. It is not a religious ritual, but an economic institution and risk management tool that must nevertheless comply with Sharia principles. The call-out box on the right reinforces a key point from the source text. That is, Islam promotes justice and fairness in business dealings and strictly forbids transactions involving uncertainty. This prohibition is what creates the tension with conventional insurance and drives the need for takaful as an alternative. As an example, think of Sharia as providing two sets of guidance, one for your relationship with God, that is ibadah, and the other one for your relationship with other people in society, that is muamalat. When you pray, you follow ibadah rules. When you buy a house, invest money or take out insurance, that is takaful, you follow muamalat rules. Takaful exists because insurance is a muamalat activity that must comply with muamalat rules. The three sources of Islamic law are presented here in descending order of authority. Al-Quran is the word of Allah and represents the highest source. It contains clear absolute rulings on matters such as the prohibition of drinking liquor and gambling. As-Sunnah is the word or conduct of Prophet Muhammad SAW, which provides interpretations and affirmations on matters not explicitly stated in the Quran. The Prophet is considered the last prophet, and his guidance carries binding authority. Ijma' is the third source and represents the consensus agreement of Muslim scholars, known as mujtahideen, who are highly regarded as experts in Islamic rules and teachings. This method of legal deduction is only permitted after the demise of the Prophet and is used to address contemporary issues not clearly elaborated in the first two sources. The source text emphasizes a crucial requirement for ijma' to produce a binding ruling alongside Al-Quran and Al-Sunnah. The agreement must be unanimous. If any scholar dissents, the ruling cannot achieve the status of absolute law. An individual scholar retains the right to hold a personal opinion within the principles of the primary sources, but cannot impose that personal view on others. The banner at the bottom of the slide makes an important observation. While there is no specific provision for insurance in the primary text, the values they propagate, such as creating strong community bonds, helping one another, and safeguarding orphans, align perfectly with the concept of takaful. This is the theological justification for developing a Sharia-compliant insurance framework. In 1972, the Fatwa Committee in Malaysia declared that life insurance as practiced in the country was unlawful because it contained inherent elements of riba or interest, gharar, that is uncertainty, and maisir or gambling. This was among the earliest formal rulings on the issue. In 1976, the first International Conference on Islamic Economics held in Mecca resolved that commercial insurance, as presently practiced, does not satisfy the Islamic conditions for acceptability. This resolution elevated the discussion from a national to an international level. While in 1985, the Islamic Fiqh Academy in Jeddah issued Resolution Number 9, which specifically stated that the commercial insurance contract with fixed periodical premiums, as commonly used by commercial insurance companies, contains a major element of risk that voids the contract and renders it prohibited or haram according to the Sharia. Note that Resolution Number 9 specifically targets the structure of fixed premium commercial insurance, not the concept of mutual protection itself. This distinction is what opens the door for takaful. This slide identifies the three specific elements that render conventional insurance impermissible. The visual metaphor of a broken bridge is appropriate. Conventional insurance is built on a buy-sell contract foundation, but the bridge to Sharia compliance is shattered by three fatal flaws. First, al-gharar or uncertainty is the first and most fundamental problem. In Islam, it is vital for parties in a business transaction to be transparent, enabling the customer to make an informed decision. The conventional insurance contract fails the transparency test because the exact timing and amount of the payout are fundamentally unknown at the outset, making the subject matter of the contract uncertain. Second, al-maisir or gambling arises as a direct consequence of al-gharar. Whenever uncertainty exists in a transaction, an element of gambling is present. The insured effectively bets on the occurrence of a loss. Premiums may be entirely lost if no insured event occurs during the policy term, or a small premium payment may trigger a massive payout. This mirrors the structure of gambling, where small bets can produce disproportionate gains. Riba or interest is the third element. Conventional insurance companies generate profits from interest-bearing instruments such as bonds, bank deposits, and loans. The Al-Quran explicitly forbids interest, recognizing that a person in need should not be further burdened by interest charges. While riba is forbidden, the Quran permits buying and selling with reasonable profit, provided the buyer consents and all conditions of a valid contract are met. This slide provides the detailed legal analysis of why conventional life insurance fails the Sharia buy-sell test. The left panel lists the 5 conditions that must exist for a buy-sell contract to be valid under Sharia. First, both a seller and a buyer must exist. Second, there must be mutual consent expressed through the sirah, that is the formal offer, ijab and acceptance, qabul. Third, the subject matter must be capable of being delivered. Fourth, the delivery date, place, type and quantity must be determined. Fifth, the subject matter must not be something forbidden by Sharia. The right panel shows precisely where conventional life insurance fails. The subject matter of a life insurance contract is the death benefit, which is the promise to pay a sum assured upon the occurrence of death. From the Sharia perspective, this subject matter is invalid because the benefit cannot be delivered at a specified time. Death is unpredictable, so the timing of the payout is unknown. Furthermore, the exact sum assured or bonuses payable upon death cannot be determined in absolute quantity at the onset of the contract because this may depend on how long the policyholder has been paying premiums and what bonuses have accrued. This inherent uncertainty in both timing and amount voids the buy-sell validity of the contract. As an example, compare buying a car to buying life insurance. When you buy a car, you know exactly what you are getting. That is a specific vehicle. When you will get it, that is the delivery date, and how much you will pay. In life insurance, you know the premium, but you do not know when the insurer will pay, how much bonuses will be added, or even whether the insurer will pay at all during the policy term. This uncertainty is what constitutes al-gharar. The word takaful derives from the Arabic kafala, which means to safeguard, guarantee or preserve. In the context of insurance practice, takaful carries the meaning of mutual guarantee, mutual help and mutual preservation. The visual of interconnected individuals around a central hub illustrates this communal ethos. According to the Sharia interpretation provided in the source text, takaful is the agreement or consent of a group of individuals who mutually guarantee and help each other against unforeseen losses. The guiding philosophy that is takaful indemnifies loss. Insurance cannot prevent a house from burning or keep a person from harm. But the profound difference lies entirely in the structure of how that indemnification is achieved. Conventional insurance transfers risk from the individual to a profit-seeking corporation, while Takaful shares risk among a community of participants through a pooled fund governed by Sharia principles. This is the most important conceptual slide in the entire chapter. It explains the single structural change that transforms impermissible insurance into permissible takaful. The solution is to change the foundational basis of the contract from a commercial buy-sell exchange to a unilateral charitable donation known in Arabic as tabarruk. Under the tabarruk concept, the participant willingly relinquishes their contribution and treats it as a donation to a mutual pool. This is not a purchase of protection, but a charitable act of contributing to a fund from which fellow participants who suffer losses will be compensated. Because the contract is no longer a buy-sell transaction, the strict Sharia conditions regarding definitive certainty of the subject matter do not apply. You cannot have uncertainty in a purchase price if nothing is being purchased. You cannot gamble on a payout if you have voluntarily donated the funds. And the fund is invested only in Sharia compliant instruments, eliminating riba at the same time. The single change of intent from commercial exchange to charitable donation simultaneously eliminates all three forbidden elements, which are al-gharar, al-maisir, and al-riba. The source text describes this as changing from a bilateral buy-sell contract to a unilateral donation contract. In takaful, tabarruk charges or rates serve the same function as risk charges in conventional insurance, but they are structured as charitable contributions rather than commercial premiums. This comparison table consolidates the structural differences across 5 dimensions. The core mechanism shifts from risk transfer, where the burden is placed on a corporation, to risk sharing, where community resources are pooled. The contract basis moves from a buy-sell contract requiring absolute certainty to tabarruk, a unilateral charitable donation. The participant role changes from customer or policyholder to participant and co-guarantor. The investment rule shifts from interest-based instruments subject to riba to Sharia compliant, that is interest-free ethical investments. And the fund objective moves from corporate profit maximization to predefined mutual compensation. In takaful, there are no policyholders, there are participants. There are no premiums, there are contributions. The company is not an insurer. They are the takaful operator. These terminological differences reflect the deeper structural differences in the contract. Al-Mudarabah was the first takaful operating model introduced in Malaysia and remains in use by some operators. Under this model, the takaful operator acts as a mudarib, which translates as entrepreneur, while the participants serve as capital providers. The operator receives contributions from participants, manages the fund, and invests it in Sharia-compliant instruments. The crucial dynamic of mudharabah is that investment profits are shared between the operator and participants according to a pre-agreed contract ratio. For example, if the agreed ratio is 70-30, then 70% of investment profits go to the participant and 30% to the operator. However, and this is a critical point, the absolute liability for any financial losses within the fund is fully borne by the participants as the capital providers. The operator does not assume the risk of the mutual pool. This allocation of loss to capital providers and profit to both parties is a defining feature of the mudharabah contract in Islamic finance. Under the wakalah model, the takaful operator acts as an agent or wakil rather than an entrepreneur. The flow on the slide is straightforward. Participants send their contributions. The operator extracts a predetermined wakalah fee upfront to cover business expenses, and the remaining balance flows into the risk and investment pool as tabarruk. The fundamental difference from mudharabah is the revenue mechanism. In mudharabah, the operator earns a share of investment profits. In wakalah, the operator earns a predetermined explicit fee for services rendered in administering the fund. This fee is deducted directly from incoming contributions before they enter the pool. The fees generally vary based on the performance of the operator. The bold text at the bottom of the slide reinforces the common thread between both models. Regardless of whether the operator is a mudharib or a wakil, the liability for any losses within the takaful fund remains firmly borne by the participants. The operator's revenue is completely decoupled from the mutual risk pool. As an example, think of the difference this way. In mudharabah, the operator is like a fund manager who earns a performance fee. That is a percentage of the profits generated. In wakalah, the operator is like a property agent who earns a flat management fee regardless of how well the investment performs. In both cases, the underlying property, that is the takaful fund, belongs to the participants. This comparison table provides a clean summary across 4 dimensions. The operator's role differs. Mudharib or entrepreneur under mudharabah versus wakil or agent under wakalah. The revenue source differs, a predefined percentage share of investment profits under mudharabah versus an upfront fee deducted directly from incoming contributions under wakalah. The participant's role also differs. Capital provider under mudharabah versus principal hiring an agent under wakalah. However, the bottom row is highlighted for a reason. The liability for losses is identical under both models. That is, borne entirely by participants. This is the structural constant that ensures Takaful remains a mutual risk-sharing arrangement regardless of which operating model is adopted. The operator facilitates and manages but does not absorb the underwriting risk. Family Takaful is described as a long-term savings and investment program with a fixed maturity period, operating strictly on the Mudharabah principle. It serves a dual purpose. First, providing investment profit through Sharia-compliant instruments, and second, providing mutual financial assistance to participants and their heirs. The three primary aims are clearly stated. First, to enable participants to save regularly and systematically. Second, to invest capital with a view to earning Sharia-compliant profits. Third, to provide robust mutual financial cover in the form of takaful benefits to heirs if a participant dies before the maturity date of the plan. These three aims correspond to the savings, investment, and protection functions that conventional life insurance also serves, but delivered through a Sharia-compliant structure. The balance scale visual on the slide represents the equilibrium between the savings and investment function on one side and the protection or tabarruk function on the other. Both are essential to the family takaful proposition. This is the operational heart of family takaful. Each takaful installment paid by the participant is divided and credited into two separate accounts. The participant's account receives a substantial proportion, for example 93% of the installment. This account exists solely for the purpose of the participant's individual savings and Sharia-compliant investment. Investment profits on this account are shared between the participant and the operator according to the Mudharabah ratio. For example, 70% to the participant and 30% to the operator. The special account receives the remaining balance. In this example, 7% as tabarruk. This amount is relinquished unequivocally as a charitable donation and is used to pay mutual death benefits to fellow participants who suffer loss. The precise proportion allocated to the special account is determined by sound actuarial principles, taking into account factors such as the participant's age, health status, and the level of coverage. A critical structural point is that while the two accounts are pooled together for investment purposes, they maintain distinct legal ownership. The participant's account belongs to the individual participant, while the special account is a collective mutual fund. This separation ensures that upon maturity or surrender, the participant can recover their savings and investment profits but cannot reclaim the tabarruk donated to the special account. The family takaful life cycle can end in one of three ways, each producing a different benefit calculation. If a participant dies before maturity, the heirs receive three components. The total installments paid from inception to the last payment before death, plus the participant's share of investment profits from the participant's account, combined with the outstanding installments calculated from the date of death to the maturity date, which are funded entirely from the special account. This last component is the mutual protection element. The community effectively completes the deceased participant's savings plan through the pool tabarruk fund. If a participant survives to maturity, they receive the total installments paid during the participation period, plus their share of investment profits from the participant's account, plus the net surplus allocated to their special account as shown in the latest actuarial valuation. This surplus represents the participant's share of any excess in the mutual fund after claims and reserves. If a participant surrenders early, they receive only the balance of their participant's account, comprising savings plus their share of investment profits. Crucially, the amount relinquished as tabarruk to the special account is not refunded. This is consistent with the nature of tabarruk as an irrevocable charitable donation. The Shariah boundary at the bottom of the slide addresses an important coverage exclusion. Takaful operators strictly do not pay death benefits for suicide under any timeline, as the Act violates fundamental Sharia principles. This directly contrasts with certain conventional insurance, which typically pays death benefits for suicide after a 12 to 13-month exclusionary period from the inception of the policy. There are 5 types of family takaful plans available in the Malaysian market. The individual plan provides standard long-term savings and life protection for individual participants. The education plan secures future academic funding for children, functioning as a dedicated savings vehicle with a protection component. The mortgage plan protects real estate assets and family shelter by ensuring that the outstanding home financing balance is settled if the participant dies before completing the repayment. The group family plan provides corporate or organizational life coverage, allowing employees to extend takaful protection to their employees as part of a benefits package. The group medical plan covers hospitalization, health and disability benefits on a group basis, mirroring the conventional group hospitalization schemes discussed in Chapter 7 but structured on takaful principles. In practice, the plans available under family takaful mirror those found in conventional life insurance. Whole life, endowment, investment link and disability products are all available, but each is structured to comply with Sharia principles through the tabarruk contract and Sharia compliant investment mandates. General takaful schemes are fundamentally different from family takaful in their structure and purpose. They operate on contracts of joint guarantee designed strictly on a short-term basis, normally a 1-year cycle. Their primary purpose is to protect individuals and corporate bodies against immediate material loss, physical damage or bodily injury resulting from catastrophes or disasters. The most important structural difference from family takaful lies in the contribution mechanics. In family takaful, contributions are split between the participant's account or savings and the special account or tabarruk. In general takaful, there is no separate savings or investment account for the individual participant. The entire contribution is paid as tabarruk, donated directly into the pool general takaful fund. This makes sense because General Takaful is not a savings program. It is purely a mutual indemnity arrangement for the contract period. For example, if a house is destroyed by fire, the owner needs sufficient funds to repair or rebuild and replace damaged contents. If a person is injured in an accident, they need funds for medical treatment. The General Takaful schemes provide these Takaful benefits from the communal fund. This slide maps the complete flow of the General Takaful Fund. All Tabarruk contributions from participants are pooled into the General Takaful Fund. The fund is invested in Sharia-compliant instruments, and all investment returns are pooled back into the fund. From this fund, three categories of outflows occur. First, compensation and indemnity payments to participants who have suffered defined losses. Second, re-takaful arrangements, that is the Sharia-compliant equivalent of reinsurance. And third, technical reserves and operating costs of the general takaful business. If a surplus remains after deducting all operational costs, that surplus is shared between participants and the operator under the mudharabah contract. For example, if the agreed ratio is 60-40, then 60% of the surplus is shared among eligible participants while 40% goes to the operator as al-mudharib. However, there is a critical eligibility condition. There is only participants who have not incurred any claims during the period and to whom no takaful benefits have been paid are entitled to share in the surplus. This creates an incentive structure similar to the no-claim discount in conventional motor insurance, rewarding participants who do not make claims. As an example, if the General Takaful Fund collects 10 million ringgit in Tabarruk contributions, earn 500,000 ringgit in Sharia-compliant investment returns, pays 7 million ringgit in claims, 1 million ringgit in re-takaful, and 500,000 ringgit in operating costs, the surplus is 2 million ringgit. Under a 60-40 ratio, the 1.2 million ringgit is distributed among claim-free participants and 800,000 ringgit goes to the operator. There are 5 categories of general takaful schemes that mirror the conventional general insurance products covered in Chapter 7. Fire takaful includes basic fire protection, house owners and householders policies, and industrial all risk. Motor takaful provides comprehensive protection for personal vehicles and commercial transport fleets. Accident and miscellaneous takaful covers personal accident, all risk, workmen's compensation, public liability, money insurance, equipment all risk, and employers' liability. Marine takaful covers cargo protection against loss or damage during global transit. Engineering takaful encompasses machinery breakdown, erection or risk, boiler and pressure, vessels, contractors, all risk, and bond. Each of these schemes operates on the same tabarruk and mudharabah principles described earlier, with contributions pooled entirely into the General Takaful Fund. General Takaful includes all takaful business that is not family takaful business. This means any short-term mutual protection arrangement covering property assets, liability or bodily injury falls under General Takaful. This comparison table consolidates the key structural differences across 4 strategic dimensions. The time horizon differs. Family takaful operates a long-term, multi-year maturity period, while general takaful is short-term, normally renewed on a 1-year contract basis. The primary objective differs. Family Takaful combines capital savings, investment growth, and life protection, while General Takaful focuses on immediate asset indemnity and material loss protection. The contribution destination is the most operationally significant difference. In Family Takaful, contributions are mathematically split between the participant account and the special account, maintaining an individual's saving component alongside the mutual fund. In General Takaful, contributions are pulled entirely into the general fund as a pure tabarruk donation with no individual savings element. The surplus and profit payout also differs. Family Takaful credits investment profits continuously to the participant's account, with surplus paid at death or maturity figures, while General Takaful calculates end-of-year surplus and distributes it only to claim-free participants. This closing slide synthesizes the entire Takaful framework into a single integrated flow. At the top, Sharia compliance serves as the overarching law that governs every element of the system. The flow begins with participant intention, which must be oriented toward mutual help rather than commercial exchange. This intention is channeled through tabarruk, the catalyst that transforms a commercial premium into a charitable donation. The Mudharabah or Wakalah operating model serves as the mechanism through which the operator manages the fund. Contributions are invested in Sharia compliant instruments and deployed into risk pooling, which is the collective mutual guarantee. The outputs of the system are twofold. Mutual indemnity provides claim compensation to participants who suffer defined losses. Ethical wealth generation distributes surplus to eligible participants and the operator. Both outputs look back under the governance of Sharia advisors, ensuring the entire cycle remains permissible. The concluding message captures the essence of Chapter 8. Takaful transcends the limitations of commercial buy-sell contracts by rooting financial mechanics natively in the Sharia principles of kafalah and tabarruk. The result is a robust, transparent, and mathematically sound ecosystem of ethical protection. As financial planners, you must be able to present this alternative to clients who seek Sharia compliant risk management solutions, and you must understand the structural differences where to advise them accurately on both conventional and takaful options.